That was enjoyable. That was enjoyable. Mariners win 6-0. They improve to 61-56 on the season, and they take the first of the 3-game series against the New York Mets. Go over the scoring plays. There's all of 3 of them. Ryan Bliss homers to left to score Mitch Haniger, 2-0 in the second. Leo Rivas singles to right to score Mitch Garver and Dylan Moore to make it 4-0 in the seventh. Also in the seventh, Big Dumper singles to right to score Rivas and Victor Robles. 6-0 Mariners. They get the win. I really liked this one. This was one of, I think, their better played games in a while. Let's talk about a few negatives and just get them out of the way. A couple of the negatives really don't have to do with the Seattle Mariners. The Boston Red Sox, come on, Boston. Come on, Boston. I forget what the score was. Okay, Google, what was the score of the Astros game?
The Astros won 8-4 today.
8-4. Come on. Help us out. Help us out. So the Mariners don't gain any ground. They don't lose any ground, but they didn't gain any ground. The negative that has to do with the Mariners is that the offense from the 3rd inning till the 7th inning was really bad. Jose Quintana just dominated. And all due respect to Jose Quintana, he's had a nice little career. Not a great career, but a nice career. You can't get completely shoved by these guys. And for a long portion of the game, they got it was bad. It ends up working out, but we're going to point out things like this. When you're doing a daily show, you have to do that. You have to. And when you're doing a show where you watch the Mariners struggle against pitchers of all shapes and forms, individually, I don't think anybody really had like an awful game. In fact, I think everyone, everyone got on base. Everybody got on base. Nobody had a superb game. We'll get into the positives, but everybody gets on base. It's still, for a long portion of the time, this was not a good offensive effort. Things turn around, though. Things did turn around, and it was good enough, especially thanks to one person. The only other negative that I have to talk about, and I hate talking about it, I promise you I hate talking about it. Gosh, dang, umpiring is bad right now. And yes, of course, it is more apparent because of the technology, right? But that's kind of stupid. It always makes me laugh when people, and I'm not going to get political on this channel, I promise you. It always makes me laugh when people say stuff like, well, no one was talking about this before. No, you just didn't hear them talk about it because the only way you could do it was either buy a water cooler or you connected on AOL.com and your dial-up, and you hope no one picked up the phone so you'd get disconnected. Of course, people were talking about all sorts of things. And of course, umpires were struggling back then. And it's more obvious now because of the fact that we have the technology. And that's also what's frustrating. We have the technology to make this better. Is an ABS system ready right now? No. Is a challenge system ready? Heck yeah. Give me the challenge system, because the umpire tonight was pathetic on both sides. This is not the Mariners got jobbed. The Mariners got some bad calls against them. So did the Mets. Just a real incompetent job. But it's such a hard job. So why not help him do it better? That doesn't make any sense to me. I almost got real political there. It doesn't make any sense to me when people don't want to help others because they haven't had the help before. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. You know what always helps me is going to simplyseattle.com and entering code MOLLYWOP15, MOLLYWHOP15. It takes 15% off my order, and I get great stuff for the Mariners, the Seahawks, the Kraken, the Huskies, Sounders, Storm. You can find it all at Simply Seattle. And once you find it, you just enter that code, and it takes 15% off your order. If you're saying to yourself, Chris, that code's so hard to remember, maybe, but it's not. And also, there is a link in the description that'll make it nice and easy for you. Thank you so much, Simply Seattle. Okay, positives. Let's start with the offense. Number one, only 9 strikeouts. Draw 4 walks. Randy with a couple of walks. He gets this reputation as being this hacker. That is not Randy Rosarena. He swings and misses a lot because he has a very long swing. And he knows what he wants to do. Let's just say that about Randy Rosarena. He knows what he wants to do. But 2 walks there. Dylan Moore with a couple of hits. Mitch Haniger with a hit, and we'll talk about in a second. Good for Leo Rivas. You know, in a situation where that was a 2-0 game. And that was a massive hit for 2 reasons. Number one, it extended that lead to 4-0. Number two, and really big dumpers 2-run single is what cemented it, but it was the play that made that play possible, you know, that you didn't have to use your high leverage guys. You did not have to pitch JT Chargois. You did not have to pitch Jimmy Garcia. I don't think Jimmy Garcia would have been available today anyway. And obviously you didn't have to pitch Andres Munoz because it's a 6-0 game. So look, is Leo Rivas a good major league hitter? Nope. But that almost makes you appreciate the, why can't I think of the word? That almost makes you appreciate what he contributes. What a tough word to remember, contribute. Even grander. And then Big Dumper just scorches that single, makes it 6-0, cements the blowout, and cements the fact that you don't have to use those big 3. And I do think Chargois right now counts as a big 3. In my humble estimation, he's in that big 3. Ryan Bliss. I believe in this guy long-term so much. I've been a big fan of his for a long time. Well, relatively long. It's not like he's a 35-year-old. But I've been a big fan of his skill set. He is a guy who I think can be, well, if you're a fantasy player, I love his skill set because I think he's going to be able to hit for some pop and steal bases. But I like his approach. I like his, it's not passive, but he doesn't swing at a bunch of pitches outside of the strike zone. He's willing to draw walks. And, you know, there's things to work on. But I like what he can contribute to this roster. I'm a little hesitant to go too cuckoo for him. And I do wonder if it's better for him to be in Tacoma right now, just for his long-term development. But I think the Mariners need him more than that. So great to see him hit that 2-run homer. Congrats on your first homer in Seattle. I saw that meant a lot to him. Mitch Haniger gets the hit before. I know a lot of people really were down on Mitch Haniger before that hit yesterday, and I get it. I do think he's looked a lot better, minus that game until, you know, obviously the big play. By the way, Ryan Vilade hit a sacrifice fly tonight, and I was so happy for him. I feel terrible for that guy. It's just me. It's just me. I get empathy. I want everyone to do well. I used to be a weirdo who rooted for, I was really always hoping that the Law and Order killer wasn't the guy who did it. Like I wanted him to be not the guy who did it. It's weird. I know. The bullpen today. Very nice job. What I really liked about what the bullpen did today was all 3 gave up a leadoff single. I think Voth did. He definitely gave up 2 hits. But look, Snyder walks the first batter and gives up a hit. So there's runners on first and second. He gets the big double play. He's able to get out of the inning with a meager pop-up. Nice job. And that was in a high leverage situation at the time. It was a 2-0 game. Austin Voth, not as high leverage of a situation, but he gives up the first 2. He does have 2 guys on base. I can't remember. Whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. There was damage there. There was a chance for them to get back in the game. And yes, he was helped out by a pitch that I thought was outside of the strike zone on Pete Alonso. Sure. But he gets the job done. Trent Thornton, kind of a punching bag right now for Seattle Mariner fans. Gives up that leadoff double. but he's able to work through it, and he gets a nasty swing and miss on the final pitch of the game. So, yeah, they had their, there was traffic, there was self-inflicted damage, but all three of those guys were able to work through it. And that's great to see. I am just so impressed with Colin Snyder in particular. What a shocking thing to say, that I'm very impressed with someone with an ERA of 1.19, right? But those of you who have paid attention to the videos know that I've been calling for this guy for a long time to, number one, get more innings, and number two, just be on the gosh dang roster. Remember how they kept optioning him for Cody Bolton and Edward Bizzardo? Not going to happen anymore, I don't think. Fantastic job by him. Great job by both to get through that. And again, the ability to win this game without having to use your high leverage guys, superb. And the main reason that they were able to do that, though, is Bryce Miller. Bryce Miller was just, can't believe it took me 11 minutes to get to it, but Bryce Miller was phenomenal. A phenomenal start from Bryce Miller. And a nice bounce back. Look, he was having a really nice outing against the Phillies until everything fell apart. But he's pitched pretty darn well as of late. There were some scuffles in May. There were some scuffles in June. He was excellent in July. And now his second start in August is pretty darn good too. The fact that this guy is your fifth starter, and I don't think that there's any doubt now that he's your fifth starter. And that's compliment to Bryce Wu. Golly, I can never avoid that. Brian Wu. Oh, wow. But there's no doubt that Bryce Miller's your fifth starter right now. And what a fifth starter. Probably the best fifth starter in baseball, right? Because, man, that stuff was so good tonight. And he was getting ahead in counts, finishing off hitters, so little self-inflicted damage. Bryce Miller is such an awesome fifth starter. This rotation is just incredible. Please don't waste it. Please don't waste it. At this point, we're not asking about making trades because you can't do it anymore, right? We're just asking the guys who are here to perform well enough that this rotation can get into the postseason, right? Well, if you keep playing like you did tonight, you will. You keep playing like this as you have tonight. You play like you did against the Phillies. At what point do the Seattle Mariners say the City Connect uniforms are just, there's too much success not to wear them? Because I believe they've lost one game all year in them. And that was against the Astros. But at what point? Very fun pitching matchup tomorrow. Now, you may not be familiar with how well Sean Manaea has pitched as of late. It's been really good. He's coming off 7 innings of shutout baseball with 10 strikeouts. In the month of July, 2.70 ERA, 36-12 strikeout to walk ratio. Has not allowed a run over his last 14 innings. This will be a tough one. But Logan on the bump, he got a great chance to win. And, this is why tonight's win was so big, though. If Sean Manaea keeps doing what he's doing, good chance he don't win that game. But we want to win them all. But at the very least, you can lose tomorrow if Sean Manaea just shoves against a still mediocre Seattle lineup, and you still have a great chance to win the series on Sunday with Luis Castillo on the mound for Sunday Night Baseball. By the way, we will be going live for Sunday Night Baseball. I don't know when. It may be at the start. It may be at the end. It may be in the middle and not finish it. But we are absolutely going live for Sunday Night Baseball for everyone. And then we will have a Mile Y enthusiast chat that week. It's $4.99 to join. I would really appreciate it. Help me buy some milk. Thank you so much. Please hit like. Please hit subscribe. This is an awesome win. An awesome win and a great start to a pretty darn big weekend of baseball.